Hello and welcome everyone back to the video game dungeon. I'm Commander Olrox and today I have here with me
Epicheeno!
That's right, and we are here today for Dungeon Cast, episode 6. That's right.
Let's start by talking about the PlayStation VR.
That's
what do
right.
you think about that so far? You think it's on par with Oculus?
I think it's going to be better than Oculus. This is a console-specific VR. This is what I've been waiting for. This to me is the final evolution or step of video games. When you immerse yourself in the game, it may start out as a generic immersion, but eventually it's going to evolve into the point where you're in the game and you're actually experiencing it, not only in a VR setting, but an expanded VR. Once they get it out there, start working with it, they get the developers on it, start making all these great titles. I heard Star Wars Battlefront is going to be a compatible title. I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I think the most effective VR titles are going to be the survival horror ones. And now that PlayStation is on board, you know you're going to get those great licensed games. You know?
Hopefully they get a fucking Resident Evil
That's
VR.
what I'm saying.
That would be amazing.
Maybe that would be Resident Evil 7. Maybe that's why they're waiting so long. We
Either
can only
that,
hope, right?
Or a nice port, at least, of the Resident Evil 2 HD remake. That was announced. I'm waiting to see more on that.
We do it!
Resident Evil games.
Remember that shirt he was wearing? It just said,
Yeah,
we do it! I was so happy when I saw that. They really respond to the outcry of the fans, so always, let your voice be heard out there. Get on their Twitter accounts,
Speak
find
out.
them. It's not that hard anymore.
Capcom,
So
they listen.
you want changes, you just gotta be persistent and get organized.
I'm still a little mad though about Devil May Cry. I don't want to talk about that. I think they should finish that fucking story. I've been a faithful fan since day one. I want to know what the fuck happens. I want to know who Nero is. And I'm going to go to my grave saying that, Capcom. Another Onimusha game. I'm going to say it again. But anyway, I'm going to get off that tirade.
Onimusha 4. I mean, I know we had done
Onimusha 5,
yeah.
essentially.
So for VR, I've had a little bit of experience with it, and it was on that phone.
When we tried the Oculus.
Yeah, what was that thing called?
I want to say it was the Oculus.
Yeah, it was a peripheral for his phone, and it had a mode where you can act like you're sitting in a theater, and the screen is just, like you're at the theater. It really feels like it, and you would think, why would you want to watch stuff like that? But it's so immersive.
It's immersive that it's like being transported to a whole nother place.
Yeah, it really puts you there, and that some people might see it as a danger to society because people with extreme levels of anxiety and stuff probably never gonna leave their house again.
Hey, I know when the PlayStation VR comes out, I'm gonna be raging the fuck out. I tell you
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I
Hopefully, I'll see the light of day again.
But I can't wait. I'm pretty excited about it. The bundle for the 500 is a great deal. You get the 2 Move controllers, the PlayStation camera, the VR for an extra $100.
That's another thing. It's utilizing PlayStation Move, which was smart because they're already utilizing the software they already have, and then bringing
expanding on it instead of making new.
Yeah,
which
and
it's a good idea to recycle
whatever
peripherals for a console instead of just getting rid of them.
Look what the Wii did.
Yeah,
and then
fuck
from
that.
Wii to Wii U to
But
the
now-
NX now.
Which, what's coming up. E3, baby!
Woo!
E3 hype! Again!
Back to that.
This time we're actually going to cover it this year.
Heck
We did the pre-show, but we're going to do the actual post-show this year. It's going to be epic.
Heck yeah.
E3, we're going to see what Nintendo does. They might not even appear. They might do their own little E3 like they've been doing recently.
Yeah,
They're too cool for school.
Little side gigs.
We got our
Who
own
needs
shit.
E3 anymore? I mean, Square Enix just had their huge press conference,
Well,
but they have the
besides,
funds.
all
a lot
these
of
video
companies
game
do.
companies out there that at least got a couple hit franchises, they can pull one out
Right.
every time they need money and they know people will buy it.
Right.
But, there are companies out there that are starting out, like Black Tusk. They're doing Gears of War 4. It's
They
looking
took
pretty
the
good.
reins
Rod
on that
Ferguson's
series?
the man. Rod Ferguson is the fucking man. Gears of War. But he's taking the reins. He worked on Epic Games, on the original Gears of Wars. But after Cliff Bleszinski quit, they kind of made him in charge. He gave his own studio in Canada.
Oh, man.
I'm pretty sure it's called Black.
He
No, it's
was
called.
another
It was
guy.
originally called Black Tusk. Now it's called the Coalition.
Oh, okay.
They changed the name.
So, who knows how many differences there's going to be from Gears of War
I'm a
3
huge
to
fan.
this.
After I seen the story trailer with Marcus, that gave me a little bit of hope because I thought that I'm like, you can't have Gears of War 4 without Marcus fucking Phoenix.
Yeah, yeah. It's
he
always
was the
good to
hero.
bring back the original heroes, I feel, for any series.
At least incorporate them into the story.
Mm-hmm. That was especially important in Halo.
Oh, yeah.
I always needed Master Chief to be there.
Master Chief
enjoying
was,
that game.
He was the driving force behind Halo,
Oh, yeah.
and then of course you had ODST and Reach and all that.
Yes, sir. So a lot of hype about Dark Souls 3 right now. I'm seeing a lot of people on YouTube playing that, talking about that.
A lot of
Tons
reviews.
of articles, reviews.
A lot of good reviews. Me, myself, I think it's seamless. It's a good game.
Mm.
I've played the series here and there. I haven't finished them like him, but I've played a decent enough chunk to know about it. And, you know, the movement's seamless. I mean, it's the same overall layout, essentially.
Yeah.
Good environments.
It's taken, siphoning a lot of the good parts from all the older games. You'll see, like, the overworld, it reminds you a lot of Demon Souls, the overworld there.
Yep.
That's where you teleport to different worlds from that. But instead of using the big, giant gravestones, you just use the bonfire like in previous Dark Souls. So it's kind of marrying everything good into that game. And even the first area after the tutorial place, it feels like you're kind of getting right back into just a reincarnated version.
But it evolved, better
yeah,
evolution
exactly,
of the game series itself.
Definitely, and I like that.
I like when they take and they meld all the positive things out of each game into one, and it just improves the game, makes it overall better. It's a cool story. Once, you know, Dark Souls is notorious for its bosses, its epic bosses.
Now, the main difference between Bloodborne and this is, I guess, you know, Bloodborne is you got to be more aggressive. You got to get the first attack in. It rewards you for taking the risks like that, but Dark Souls 3, it's more calculated. You have the shields back.
The shield absorbs most of the damage.
Yeah, and you have what's called the weapon arts now, is where you hold L2, and there's 2 unique actions for each different weapon. No, and then that takes your focus away. And that's another cool thing about Dark Souls 3, it's a focus meter instead of just a set number. So you can replenish it, and actually a lot, you could take away from how many health Estus flash you have and give yourself more focus Estus flash. So I like that option too. That's a great addition, Bandai. Thank you.
Overall, good job. I've only played it just past the first boss. Gundyr, he was pretty cool looking.
We got a clip up there of me tearing him up the first try, so I'll link that in. Check that out, please.
Pretty epic.
Heck yeah, now I'm on, I think, the 3rd boss or so. So we'll see how that goes. I take a little break here and there, get a little frustrated, but that's what that game's about. It's all about perseverance.
Overcoming the challenge.
Exactly.
That's why I'm going to go back and I'm going to finish 1, 2, after I finish 3. It's kind of a weird order, but hey.
Yeah, it's
really
okay with that
linked,
game because the lore is so loose. You know, it's
not
loosely
really
bound together.
In the franchise.
Exactly.
But overall, first impressions, pretty good so far. One thing I did want to talk about was finally, after all this fucking time, they announced God of War 4. They showed that it's Kratos, which I'm assuming it's Kratos, going after the Norse gods now. He's got his little primal outfit on and his axe. He's got a beard. He looks pretty cool, but that's a pretty interesting take on the franchise.
You told me it was almost kind of like a kilt type outfit.
Yeah,
maybe he's going for like the Scottish / the Norse outfit.
Norse. It was Norse for sure, because I mean Norse mythology and him going after the Norse gods. It's a nice twist. I mean, he took out the originals. You know, he went after Zeus, the Titans.
Right.
Now he's going after a whole new set of gods.
Yeah,
which
Odin,
that's pretty epic to me.
Thor, Loki, I'm sure.
Loki, yep.
All those guys.
It's going to be an interesting take. I can't say that enough, and I'm pretty excited about it. I love the God of War series. Kratos has always been one of my #1 video game heroes, or anti-heroes, if you will.
Yeah, it makes you think, like, how can they seamlessly put the old God of War into this, because those are 2 whole different mythologies and like 2 different time periods, and well, obviously Kratos he's an immortal, right?
Well, it goes back and forth. He
Oh,
was a
goes
god, then he got it taken away. And,
Okay.
and pretty much now, I mean, he is the god now because he took out all the gods. He took
So
out the Titans.
these guys must be contenders then, the Norse gods coming up. They
Yeah,
must be
I
new
mean,
contenders for him.
Even if it was a different time frame, maybe that mythology still existed at that point.
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
game.
I think they were.
There's different parts of the world,
Right.
essentially.
Right.
Like, I would say, you know, with Zeus and all that, that'd be the Greek. And
But that begs the question, why... I wonder why
That's some
those
Greek
gods weren't
mythology.
fighting those gods before.
But I think that's maybe a peace treaty they all had together. And
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
Kratos,
yeah. Because
he's such
there
a
would be no
badass,
Earth.
he's like, fuck you, I'm coming for everyone.
There'd be no Earth if all the gods were just going to war with each other. There'd be no human civilization.
There would be no sustained stability in anything.
It turned out to be a East Side, West Side tiff, so...
A brawl of the gods. Tournament of the gods. Anybody get that Dragon Ball Super reference? But I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm pretty excited and happy to see that finally here.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, PlayStation.
Another thing we're quite excited about was we just watched for, I don't know, the 5th time, the Rogue One trailer, Star Wars Rogue One, which is the prequel to the destruction of the Death Star. So
Well,
you wonder...
Episode 4, A New Hope.
Right, it's the prequel
Yeah,
to
prequel
that,
to
so in
that.
between episode 3 and 4, with the perspective of another female, but she
Main
is...
female protagonist.
She's a rebel pilot, right?
She looks like a badass.
Yeah, she
She's
sneaks
pretty
her way
much
in
a traitor.
well.
Sneaks in.
I like this one. It's not all about just the Force and lightsabers. It's about espionage.
War.
It's about just straight up warfare,
Without
psychology. Yeah.
Yeah, technically it is psychological war. I mean, there is battles, obviously. They have battle scenes, which one that really stuck out to me was the AT-ATs firing on the soldiers on the beach. It's nice to see an AT-AT in another movie. You see them here and there in games and whatnot, but it's good to see it in another movie.
Oh yeah, those things are.
There was downed AT-ATs in the desert and Jakku in episode 7 though, but obviously it was downed and fucked
Yeah,
up.
you don't know how many years it's been there.
It's sitting there.
Could
yeah.
be fresh. Could have been.
That's to me the beautiful thing about the Star Wars lore is they can make so many movies about so many different plot lines, character evolution, pre-stories.
It's really an infinite.
Is Boba
amount of
Fett
funds.
dead? I have a book called The Mandalorian Armor that says he's not.
I wouldn't think so.
Maybe he's alive.
I think he had to have gotten his way out of that one.
He's
I mean,
the
I know he's
legendary
had
bounty hunter, Boba Fett.
he's had like 5 lines or so through the 3
He
films.
didn't say
but-
much, but everybody loved him.
Yeah, I love
he
him
was a
too.
badass.
That's what I'm saying. He's such a badass.
He was a
that
man
I
with
know.
very little words.
I know he got out of that.
He did.
As you wish.
He survived.
There's no
positive.
doubt in my mind that there's going to be a Boba Fett spin-off somewhere
Spin-off.
down this timeline.
He survives. Everyone loves him. They would make so much money off a Boba Fett spinoff. Like I said, the story in that book, The Mandalorian Armor, that's a plausible spin of how he gets out of the Sarlacc stomach and the other bounty hunter or scavenger, whatever you will, finds him and brings him back to hell, so to speak. And
There's always a way. His armor probably did survive that stomach acid.
that's
what
true.
I'm thinking.
I mean, it could have sustained his body long enough by the time it took the stomach bile to burn through it.
And
And the guy found him on the sand.
Yeah, the smart bounty hunter he is too. He's not gonna break out of the Sarlacc pit right away. He's gonna wait until his
He's
enemies
gonna
are
have to
gone, so they
find a way.
believe he's dead.
And then he's going to have
That's
to
the
find
smart
a way.
thing. Yeah. So that's in the air, but
There's
I
always
think-
something in the air.
mhm.
They got to keep you guessing on any storyline.
Yeah.
But it's.
I'd say he's coming back though. I have it in my heart. He's
I hope
coming
too. I hope too. I'd like to see Darth Maul come back, but
back. Oh yeah.
that'll probably
He was
never
great.
happen. I mean, he came back in the Star Wars Clone
He
Wars.
came back in that movie Insidious. No, I'm
Ah,
just kidding.
He was
He
a
looked just
special
like him
guest
though.
star. He did.
They
The
call
red
him,
black face with the horns.
Yeah, they call him the lipstick
Lip-
monster or something like that.
Because he
It's
does
valid.
look. I'll never forget the first time we seen that.
Anything else we want to cover today?
Nah,
I think we're pretty wrapped
Pretty
up
set.
for now. Hit some relevant new things. So
relevant topics in the video game / epic world.
yeah, and hopefully you guys have been following along. But we're actually being consistent now. We're doing at least 1 to 2, 3, 4 videos a week. So let's
Well,
keep
we
up
actually,
with us on that. We're changing it up a bit too. Yeah, and he just upgraded his laptop now too, so we're gonna have much
Got
better
an epic
editing. So
laptop.
stay on board with us here at the Video Game Dungeon.
We
Thank
are
you so much.
improving. We are rising from our grave. Our upstart.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Subscribe, like, thank you
much.
again for watching. See you next time on the Video Game Dungeon. Got my handy dandy Darth Vader notebook. That's right. We are the Knights of Vader. We're creating that right now, the Knights of Vader. We're going to overthrow the Knights of Ren. And we're going to take over the galaxy.
Watch out for that.